couple months ago, people might have thought Lakers at Denver would be a pretty solid, 1 versus 2, but they've kind of fallen off. What's going on with them?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, they've obviously had some major blows dealt to their ball club. Starting with Coach Karl. I mean, that's tough to weather. And then they've had a multitude of injuries throughout the year, which leads to a little bit of inconsistency of the way they've been playing. Kenyon's a huge part of what they do. So you take him out of the lineup, and they suffer a little bit defensively.
Adrian Danley's taken over for Karl in his stead. Certain times in your career, you've had a coach, retire mid-season. You've had certain times when Phil stepped out and the other guy had to step up. What's that like for a player to listen to another coach's voice midstream?
No, it's pretty much the same message, really. I mean, I don't know what their situation was like, but if that was to happen, and Phil decided to miss a couple games and Bryant stepped in, I mean, it'd be pretty much the same message.
Dr. Buss was, announced he's going to the Hall of Fame on Monday. Tex Winter's there as a contributor, but not as a coach.
It's a dumb.
Should that be revisited? Like, should there be a campaign? Like, what would you
just
say?
fire the whole panel.
Yeah. What can you say about his credentials? Just as
it speaks for himself.
Mm-hmm.
It speaks for himself. I mean, going back to college, Kansas State, and then what he did in the pros. I mean, he was the one that brought the concept to Phil, and what that dynasty did for the NBA, for basketball as a whole, and then coming here and then doing it again. And he's I call him Yoda. I mean, he really taught me a lot. I know how Michael feels about him because we've talked about him a great deal too. So it's you can't overstate his significance to the game.
And you can also say the same thing about Dr. Buss going to the Hall of Fame too.
Sure. I mean, they're both no-brainers. And Dr. Buss too. I mean, you felt the impact of what he did with this franchise. For a kid that was 8 years old in Italy. The impact was felt because that was the team that was global at the time, the only team that was global at the time. And the Celtics kind of got thrown into the mix because of the rivalry, but it was really the Lakers.
How much does this team miss hearing from Tex from time to time?
I miss it personally. I don't know how much the guys miss it, but I miss it, because most of the guys weren't here when Tex was here, aside from Fish, and now I miss it. He's just feisty and he's just, he's brutally honest about everything. I mean, he's great.
Kind of characteristics that you have.
Who, me?
Yeah, feisty, brutally honest.
Never. I'm a teddy bear.